OBB or yung 5-minute video?
Ayun. Yun. Happy Thursday, everyone. I didn't use the same, I know. Julian, hello. Wow. Vacation from out of the country. That's nice.
Bakit ka na nakikinig sa amin habang out of the country ka, Julian? Enjoy your life, man. What the hell?
Kaya,
I mean, kakabalik
hindi ka ba
lang
masaya
niya.
dun sa pinuntahan mo? Bakit ka?
I think he's saying kakabalik lang niya because he just said they removed.
Kababalik.
Akala ko nasa Amerika siya, Hong Kong.
Emil, kasi ayusin mo yung shoutout, Emil. Ayusin mo. Kakamali tayo dito eh.
Naglalakad siya sa labas, mahangin, malamig yung weather, tapos nanonood siya ng live stream sa Pilipinas.
To be fair, when I was in Baguio, I was also like watching the live stream.
Ikaw kasi yun, Emil.
Medyo excusable siya because you're part of the show.
Yeah.
But also, you were on break. So why?
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Wala namang attendance to, guys, eh. Hindi naman namin kayo ino-obliga manood.
Deep Prime, hello. Glendale, Anton, hello. Bruce, what's up? I'm sure Ro had a blast with the 4-hour extravaganza. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later.
Sakto, no Ro tonight. You get the three of us instead, talking about everything else.
Yes. Yeah. By the way, I'm gonna ask you guys something. Does it bother you pag namamali yung spelling namamali yung spelling ng pangalan niyo sa Starbucks?
No. You know how many times I've been called Chio, Chin, Chilo, Chin? Some of these aren't even names. Diba? Chief, got called Chief once. Vino, Dino.
Yeah.
No, feeling ko yung ibang barista nang titrip lang din sila. Feeling ko nananadya din sila.
Feeling ko, requirements sa Starbucks barista na hearing impaired sila ng konti. kasi
okay, I'm not gonna make that joke. I don't want to get canceled, Chino, but I'm just saying sometimes I think
wala pang pakialam. Wala pang tumatawa na pangalan at all.
I mean,
at all. Wala pang tumatawa na pangalan. So
I'm gonna
big deal out of it. It's just ridiculous.
I'm gonna be fair. Sobrang ingay din kasi. I don't know, wala pa ako nakikitang Starbucks at sobrang tahimik.
Yes.
Sobrang ingay sa Starbucks. It should be a place na sobrang tahimik lang, but for some reason, every Starbucks brunch that I've went, sobrang ingay niya. So I won't blame the baristas if they got the name wrong. But to complain about it and to make a big deal out of it and say, oh, you just lost
theory yung mga badla na si let's call him what it is. JP Abesilia, the guy, is actually a marketer. So think about that.
Right.
Did he mean to do that as a marketing stunt?
Interesting. But
diba?
Yeah, it triggered a lot of people. It triggered me as well.
It went after a name brand and trending siya.
Like my name has been misspelled so many times in the past.
Everybody's name has been misspelled.
Especially with me kasi yung name ko may isaw yan eh. Sometimes people forget that. Sometimes they put a Y instead
really? That's your concern? You're missing the silent letter in your name?
Yeah.
That's your after
I'm just
Dino,
saying.
Leo.
I'm just saying it's not something to rage about. And you could be polite. You could be polite and just, and
is this the hill
recording
you're going
in
to
progress?
Exactly.
Yeah. Is this the hill that people die on? It's crazy.
All right.
Thanks,
shut up, Jasper.
Please hit my music and
My name is Collar Cash Money Cannon.
What do we want to talk about?
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
You're still just a kid. Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Because mommy is always on top.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
I'm home.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
To say his name.
Amen. He appears.
Stan C, the voice of Philippine wrestling, University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Momoran, the fancy dad, University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Chino Liao, Best Gout Machine, San Sebastian College, Recoletos, College of St. Benilde, De La Salle University, International Academy of Film and Television.
Emil Nate, small forward, the Ateneo de Naga University.
Rowan ASH, bad boy ng dance floor ng Quezon City, Central Scholar University, Manila.
I love you solo.
Then you're listening.
You're listening.
And you're listening.
And you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast. And you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
You're watching and listening to the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Stan C, Chino Liao, and Emil Nate checking in on this very wet and rainy Thursday evening. How is everyone doing tonight? Sana hindi kayo bad trip kasi may nagkamali sa spelling ng pangalan niyo sa Starbucks order niyo.
Si Emil nagalit siya kasi walang second E yung pangalan niya.
Yeah, that's kind of a dumb reason to get mad at me. What the hell?
No, I'm saying kahit may mga ganon, I'm already okay with it. Before, nagagalit pa ako, pero ngayon okay.
Yeah, diba? Like, how are people supposed to know your name is spelled with an extra silent E? Diba?
No, my friends are making the mistake as well. Like, even some of my closest friends, which is, before it pissed me off, pero ngayon, okay, I don't care. I don't care anymore.
I mean, if it's someone who doesn't know you, ba't ka magagalit? Kung kaibigan mo na nakikita yung pangalan mo sa Facebook or sa school or what, yun, siguro pwede ka magalit. But like, a random barista at a coffee shop who's never met you a day in their life, what the hell?
Yeah, that's true. I'm saying,
magalit kapag mali yung order, hindi yung mali yung spelling ng pangalan niya.
Yeah, tama naman. Yeah.
Actually, yeah. You know what? Let's not give that person any more clout than they already do. Because apparently, it's like an engagement thing.
Emil.
Like they're actually doing it for the clout. So, bahala na kayo. I hope you enjoy all the haha reacts you're getting on your Facebook. Sheesh.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot of wrestling to talk about. Meron tayong double PLE weekend. We've got Worlds Collide happening at 3 a.m. on Sunday and then Money in the Bank right after that. So we're going to do predictions plus all of the big wrestling news from this week. But before all of that, let's start by promoting our Money in the Bank viewing party. That's happening this Sunday at Skinny Mike's BGC. Emil, take it away.
All right, so a lot of people have requested this, and we are giving it to you. Money in the Bank viewing party. That's going to be at Skinny Mike's BGC. The pay-per-view starts, the PLE starts at 7, so you got to be there early. Early bird registrations are still going on. That's at 450 pesos. Walk-in is at 500. So again, it's going to be fun. You know, PLEs, watch parties. Again, we're doing this basically every PLE now kasi we just had Backlash nung last month and now we're gonna have Money in the Bank on Sunday. So Ro is gonna be there. Chino, you're gonna be there?
Yes, I will be there. Money in the
Rowan.
Bank is Money in the Bank is turning into one of the big four now. Sa ating WWE calendars, you know, you always expect to cash in. You never know who's gonna win the briefcases. Right, so it's becoming a can't miss event now that people have actually asked for a Money in the Bank viewing party. So I will be there alongside Ro and event producer Rowan.
Yes,
right, to hold it down for that Sunday morning. Magkita-kita tayo bright and early, 7 a.m. This June 8th sa Skinny Mike's.
Yeah, actually, doors open as early as 6 a.m. So, pwede na kayo pumasok by then during the countdown show. You can get your tickets pa rin until tonight at tinyurl.com/MITB2025. Again, that is tinyurl.com/MITB2025 if you want to be part of our Money in the Bank watch party at Skinny Mike's. Emil, let the people know how they can be part of the patron program, which yielded a lot of good stuff for our patrons last week when they got to be part of our 11th anniversary party.
Ayun. So thank you so much, by the way, to our patrons who went to the new studio and hang out with these guys last week, for the live stream and the audio only. And you could be a part of that for the next one. If you subscribe to our Patreon or Gang program, it's patreon.com/wrestling podcast and ganknow.com/wrestling 2xpod for as low as $5. Aside from that, you get first dibs to everything. First dibs to exclusive releases, exclusive content. Something to get first dibs on tickets and my events like the watch parties. And also the Discord server has always been fun. Always fun to talk to people and gain some friends. I have gained a lot of friends through our Patreon community. So if you want to be a part of that, all you got to do is subscribe. Again, the links are patreon.com/wrestling podcast and ganknow.com/wrestling 2xpod.
Sali kayo ng Patreon kasi makakasali kayo sa Discord and doon nyo lang makikita ng send ako ng mga katarantaduan. Wrestling-related katarantaduan. But still, katarantaduan nonetheless.
Thank you for the self-awareness, Chino. Good evening kay Jong, one of our new listeners.
Hey, what's up, Jong?
Hey.
Haven't seen this name yet in the comments. Emil, one last thing to share. Let's talk about the Converge Netflix bundle, aka the best way to catch WWE legally in the Philippines.
Yes, so people are wondering where they could watch WWE programming, and there are two ways. First is through Blast TV, through Tap Sports, and second is through Netflix via VPN, and you can experience that. You can have the best experience. If you avail or upgrade your Converge subscription to the Converge Netflix bundle. So included in that is the Experience Box, which is an amazing device. I've been using this for months now. You get the new next gen modem, which will enable the super high speeds, of the internet. You'll get of course a Netflix subscription, and you'll get the high speed, and you can subscribe or upgrade through their website, gofiber.ph, or you could go to your local Converge office if you have in your local area. You can also email their customer service to avail of this upgrade. So Converge number 1.
All right. Okay, let's start with the wrestling talk, shall we? We're gonna get to AEW first, kasi I'm literally less than an hour fresh off of that 4-hour broadcast. Oh my God. I still don't know why they did a 4-hour broadcast. Hindi ko alam kung related ba sa NBA Finals or whatever. Kasi wala nang NBA on TNT, diba? So,
it's the Stanley Cup.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, for 2 straight weeks there will be 4-hour broadcasts back-to-back in Dynamite and Collision, and oh my gosh, nakakapagod siya, guys.
It is.
I mean,
it is. Yeah.
Nakakapagod na nga in general yung mga pay-per-views nila, diba? We just talked about this too. Like they had 8 matches, Double or Nothing, and now we're essentially getting half of pay-per-view for the next 2 weeks here. So, medyo baliw kasi it's already been proven that AEW does not need more time, right? If anything, they probably should stick to the time that they have. More time doesn't solve your story problems.
Yeah, and the thing na na-notice ko dito is they stacked up the best matches during the first 2 hours. So it wasn't even like it was a full card where the first until the last match was like the main event, the best one. It was like the 2 hours is, if you want to really just watch the best wrestling that they had this week, just watch the first 2 hours. Because the last 2 hours was more of your normal Collision na you could afford to miss, if you're not really following any minor AEW storylines, kasi all the things that happened on the show happened on the first 2 hours, which was the normal time slot for Dynamite. So I know what they're doing here, kasi they're compensating for the Stanley Cup and possibly preempting the weekend programming in the next 2 weeks. So, but there are other ways to do this. There are other ways to do this. I mean, they could have had Collision on another day, which is Thursday or Friday. But I feel like this was an experiment, and and ako napagod na ako after the four-way, after the international four-way match, and doon naantok sobrang antok ko na after that after the second hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So sobrang antok din ni Chino. He's like falling asleep during the live stream right now.
No, I'm not. I'm awake. I just heard what you guys said. Did I didn't fall asleep.
Okay, all right. I'm messing with Chino. But yeah, it's happening again next week. So they're billing it as Summer Blockbuster, another 4-hour event. And I don't know, man. Grabe. Sobrang nakakapagod siya. And we're watching this in the daytime, diba?
Yeah.
What more if you're watching it sa time zone ng US?
I mean, mas madali panoorin pag umaga, sure. Kasi gising ka na. You just woke up, diba? Essentially.
Yeah.
So, gising pa yung katawan mo. But then, I mean, it doesn't really solve the problems at hand here. So, medyo, tama din si Emil. They stacked the card up so unevenly that the first 2 hours were just the hours you paid attention to. And, we've already covered how I watch wrestling. So, it was really hard for me to sit down for the next 2 hours after that.
Saka the thing is, they really stacked up the entire 4 hours with matches. There wasn't like anything to... like maybe a promo segment.
Meron naman, ano ka ba?
Meron naman,
it's
diba?
not, for me, it's not enough time like for me to like, to parang relax and rest while going through the entire 4-hour card. So, but again, sakit na yun ng AEW. We have been calling AEW for that for years now, and I don't think they're gonna change anything about that.
Yeah, I guess for me, like as a viewer, ang hirap lang kasi hindi siya PPV. Alam mo yun? Like, siguro pag naka-gear yung utak ko na, PPV. Somehow you're mentally prepared. But I don't know, it could be just me. And, clearly may bias ako. So, I'm also gonna say that out loud. Like, may bias ako because of, who I work for.
I mean, it happened then when Raw moved from 2 hours to 3 hours, diba? Sanayan din siya nun eh. I don't know about you guys, but sanayan din siya for me at that time. So, but then again, you're talking about two different products here. Diba? Mas maayos yung storytelling ng WWE than AEW's at this point. So, who's to say? Baka ma-figure out na nila yung tamang balance sooner or later, but I'm not holding my breath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. One of the big developments from yung 4-hour Fighter Fest kanina is the announcement that Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada, winner takes all, is happening at All In. So, marami ng rumors from the past few months na, the Continental Championship and International Championship, baka unify siya, and a match like this looks like ito na yung storytelling device to make that happen.
Yeah, people have been... people penciled this in once Kenny came back and won the International Championship at the beginning of the year. They parang nakita na nila eh. There's a collision course with because the last time Kenny was in AEW programming before his comeback was the Elite beating him up, diba? And Okada was part of the Elite. So this only makes sense, no? And for me it makes sense to unify the titles already kasi they have the same purpose eh. They are the titles that are being defended more often on TV. So what's really the difference between the two belts? Except the Continental has its own rules. But the purpose of the belts, you could say they are kind of similar. And wala talaga silang brand split. So might as well just unify the titles kasi sobrang daming belts na sa AEW.
I don't have a problem with them unifying it. I will have a problem if they call it the Intercontinental Championship. Because that's just like the most brain rot thing ever. A plus B equals this. But no, I do agree. Kasi yung signing ni Okada, when he was signed, people automatically started dream matching, fantasy booking for him versus Kenny. Diba? In the same way that when the WWE signed both AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, yun agad yung unang pumasok sa mind ng mga tao, sa isip ng mga tao, di ba? So in the collective consciousness of wrestling fans, this is a long time coming.
Yeah, their last matchup was like 2018 pa, no? So it's like 7 years. So this rematch is 7 years in the making.
All right. I want to get your thoughts on the name Fighter Fest. Kasi diba, when it first debuted, it was obviously a pot shot at the Fire Fest. Diba? And
Yeah.
AEW has been doing this for years na. There are special branded episodes like Blood and Guts or Winter is Coming. Diba? Even yung Winter is Coming, we haven't really seen that in a while kasi parang medyo nalaos na siya. And now, parang 6 years in, I don't know, maybe it's time to retire Fighter Fest. Kasi parang, like, who even remembers anymore na it was a shot at Fire Fest?
Well,
definitely.
Billy McFarland is trying to make fire a thing again, so I don't blame them for using the name again.
He can try, pero successful ba siya?
Yeah.
Diba? Yun yung point eh. Diba? So you can try and make it successful again, but as long diba, you can try and bring it back, but as long as he's not successful, the joke stays dead. And yun yung nakakainis kasi ginasgas nila yung joke for 6 years to the point na wala nang nakakaalala, and now baka ino-own na lang ni Tony Khan yung fact na sila yung original. Diba? They co-opted the name from Fire Fest now. Now it's actually being associated with wrestling now. So parang, I guess nag-worked in his favor yun. But I don't know if I agree with it necessarily.
People actually forget the origins of the joke. It was Kenny being kind of incompetent as an EVP kasi he doesn't really know anything about the business side. So he thought the name Fighter Fest will be good, pero it's actually a parody of the whole thing, which that was on Being the Elite. So I was an avid viewer of Being the Elite back then. That's why I kind of know the backstory of the name. But yeah, wala nang joke eh. It's just people have just accepted it as okay. At this point in the year, we have this thing called Fighter Fest.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Okay, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about that glamorous debut on NXT, among other things. But first, let's hear from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network. Let's talk about that debut on NXT. It was GLAMOROUS. And kind of like the Ricky Saints debut, it was very deliberate na hindi binanggit yung pangalan ni Mariah May. And I have no idea kung ano yung magiging plano, if they're gonna change her name to something completely different, if they're gonna retain Mariah or May, or what the plan is here. But I am just so happy that this one caught us all off guard. And it's even happened because 8 years ago, Mariah May tweeted that she wanted to be drafted to NXT but during the Superstar Shakeup, in a tweet that's now gone viral. And now it's basically a reality because now she's part of NXT.
Yeah, this was very unexpected. Even though people were already expecting this after after rumors and news have come out that she has left AEW, pero sobrang bilis eh. Like, she was just removed on the roster last week, and the next week she is now making her debut. I'm just happy for Mariah kasi she really parang she bet on herself on those 2 years with AEW na she's gonna cash in on a massive payday afterwards, and she was able to do so. I mean, WWE, that's the place like everyone wants to be, and she got there. And people are some people are actually turning on her for for using AEW as a stepping stone to get to WWE, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's completely fine. If that's what she wanted to do, then so be it. So I'm looking forward to it's for me suddenly. I'm sorry, for me when she appeared the JC Jane win suddenly makes sense to me. I'm sorry, we talked about JC Jane last week. We gave her praises, but all of a sudden it makes sense. Okay, she's gonna be a transitional champion. I'm sorry, JC, but I that's what I felt when Mariah.
Talaga sure kay
appeared.
Emil, she's gonna be a transitional champion.
I just
Baka
feel
Booker
like,
si Emil, di natin
I
alam.
just feel like she's gonna be a transitional champion to Mariah.
Feel mo lang pala.
Feel lang.
Kala ko, alam mo eh. Kala ko
Hindi,
nandito
Booker
sa prod
siya.
meeting eh.
Baka kasama siya dun sa road
I actually kind of felt sad na ganun yung naisip ko when she appeared, because actually like JC, but with the way things are going in NXT, that was the first thing that came into my mind.
I will say that the term transitional champion is medyo bastos.
Sorry,
from the people that actually put in the work to be champion.
Oh, wag ka mag-sorry sa amin ni Chino, kay JC Jane ka mag-sorry.
Sorry ka kay JC
I'm sorry,
Jane.
JC Jane.
Tsaka kay Fallon. Tsaka sa mga sinabihan mo ng transitional champion sila.
Lumuhod ka, Emil.
Oh,
Lumuhod ka.
in front of Fatal Influence, I'll do that.
A goon. A goon. Anyway.
Someone clip this and send this to Ashley, please.
Yes. Jasper, you know what to do. No, but seriously though, a lot to unpack here for the Mariah May or FKA Mariah May debut. I've been a fan of hers ever since, as in day one pa lang, no, hindi pa siya wrestler. And she was just a content creator, one of the early content creators on wrestling. So she really set her mind on debuting for the WWE someday. And laking bagay nun to see her journey from the UK Indies to the Joshi world of Japan to now being in the WWE. Ang layo nung journey niya, layo din yung struggle niya. So it's a good thing for me to see. It also makes sense that they just debut her after they called up everybody. They called up Stephanie, called up Julia, they called up Roxanne. So parang nagkaroon din siya ng deficit sa NXT women's division. I mean, yes, you do have other stars there, but they really need that name brand player among their roster so that may manonood pa rin ng NXT, right? So it makes sense that it was Mariah May, and whatever her new name is, I'm sure madali lang yan for her, and it's gonna carry over. The glamour gimmick is gonna carry over so well.
Yeah. Remember, Mariah May used to model for WWE Shop. Like Chino mentioned yung kanyang days as a content creator. She used to be like an influencer for WWE Shop, and she went from that to being an actual WWE superstar. That is a hell of a glow up, hell of a dream come true kind of arc. So I'm super happy for her. You love to see it happen. And I also think, I guess just to build on what Chino said, na, I think Jordan Grace is still in NXT, but she was one of the many women who came out and addressed JC Jane and the situation with the NXT Women's Championship. I love how this all went down. All of these women, Lainey Reed, Lola Vice, Slash Legend, Kelani Jordan, Jordan Grace, that's in NXT labasan, and then out comes Mariah May, and suddenly JC Jane and Fallon Henley, and maybe even Jasmine Nix were like, oh shit, lahat sila nakatutok na sa atin. So it's a great way to push the women's division story forward.
Yeah, it pretty much, like, despite them losing Stephanie and Julia, the division is fine. They have a deep roster of talented women there. And parang ito yung naging ano nila, parang segment nila to prove that a week after losing sila Stephanie and Julia.
Mm-hmm. Let's stick with NXT here and talk about the main event, which ended when AJ Francis and KC Navarro crashed the Trick Williams versus Mike Santana match for the TNA World Championship. And it seems like tinulungan nila si Trick. I don't know if there's like an alliance here, if they're whatever the bigger storyline is, because now you have Elijah watching from the stands, diba? You have all these different players from TNA getting involved because it's the TNA World title and it's being held by Trick Williams. So what did you think of the return of the former Top Dollar and his associate, KC Navarro?
So shout out muna kay Vic Joseph, who used the phrase flopping dollars nung lumabas si AJ Francis and Casey Navarro. Just such, if you know, you know, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
You know, you know. So nakakatawa lang na sinabi niya yun on commentary. But I do like the pairing of Trick Williams and First Class here kasi it's a partnership that makes sense para sila ng aesthetic, di ba? Pareho din sila ng pinagdalaban, ng alignment and all that. So it makes sense because top flight today. First Class is the kind of stable that really needs a personality. Hindi sila natulungan masyado ni AJ Francis when he was the only guy on First Class. So the fact that they have a charismatic person in Trick Williams siding with them, it's going to help them get over a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. Now Trick, now that he's a champion, he also needs, kind of a group to surround himself with, and it fits perfectly. Question ko lang, does First Class have a feud with Santana? That's why they interfered, Chino, sa TNA?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
What was the last pay-per-view they had? Under Siege, I think. They had a match, diba? Si First Class. Sorry, it was Trick and somebody else versus Trick and Nick Nemeth versus Elijah and Joe Henry, and then another match was First Class and we're talking about Mike Santana, AJ Francis and Mike Santana.
All right, and I just want to say though, like Mike Santana had the showing of his life in the main event of NXT.
Yeah, that was a fun match.
Yeah, that was a hell of, like, I've never seen, honestly, for me, I always see him as like a tag guy because of his years with Ortiz. But that was the first time like I was like legit impressed with Santana as a singles guy. Like parang alam niya na the spotlight is gonna be on him and more eyes are gonna be on him kasi he's literally main eventing an NXT show and he brought his A game.
Yeah, like 450 siya.
Yeah.
Diba?
And I can now see the Eddie Kingston comparison that Rome made last week. Like I can't unsee Eddie Kingston in Mike Santana. He has that it for me.
I mean, they're both that's Hispanic and they're both from New York. So.
No, they're both Puerto Rican. Ano ka ba? Just go ahead and say it. They're both.
I wasn't sure if Eddie Kingston was Puerto Rican. So yes, yun.
He's also a Boricua.
Oh, they were in LAX together in TNA back then.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's answer this question from Alistair sa comments. Ni si Alistair black to pero black and white yung picture niya. Sabi niya, meron bang chance na mag-appear si Tessa Blanchard sa NXT given her past controversies? I don't know, man. No idea. As we always say in wrestling, anything can happen, and with the partnership between NXT and TNA, anything can happen. Di natin alam.
Ang tanong ko sa'yo, Alistair, is that what you want to see happen?
Oh, yeah.
The better thing to do is tanungin natin si Emil kasi siya nakakaalam.
Booker siya, transitional champion ng WJJ.
Emil is in the room where it happens.
I'm gonna agree with Stan here. Honestly, I don't want to see it, but with their history and given like yung mga names na nag-appear na on the other side, anything can happen. No? Malay mo na lang mag-appear na lang siya in one of these days, di ba? So,
yeah, spoken like a true booker in you. That's spoken.
Hey, Rose said he doesn't want to be booked by me, so I'm not a booker.
No one wants to be booked by you, Emil.
That's the joke. That's the joke.
All right.
That is why we are making
that's why I'm not in the business.
Kung wrestler din ako, di na ako magpapabook sa'yo. Sampalin pa kita ng pere para umalis ka. All right. On to more serious stuff. We got to show some love and Pinoy pride to our girl Jin Tala, real name Lee Laurel, and you know her from WWE LFG. She showed up last week and dun dinebut yung ring name niya na Jin Tala, which pays tribute to both her Korean and Filipino ancestry. So that's pretty cool. Diba? And she debuted her finisher, the Bakunawa Bind, at this week's episode of Evolve. So that was pretty cool as well. And apparently, it's a move she innovated because I don't think I've seen that. It's like a parang standing Fujiwara armbar na may chin lock pa. So I love what Jintala, Lila Rel, what she's doing here in WWE, how she's carrying yung being Filipino without beating you too much over the head with it. I think that's a nice way to represent. And I will keep defending this woman. I will keep stumping for her, hoping she succeeds. And I can't wait until I get a chance to actually call her matches and be like, oh, Pinoy yan, one of us, that type of stuff sa WWE commentary.
Pag tatawagin mo yung match niya, hindi ka under duress.
No.
Then,
No, I won't. No. I'll do it willingly. I'm gonna love it. It's great, diba? Kasi we've had Filipino representation in WWE in the past, diba? Si Batista, TJP, and then the current ones like Joaquin Wilde, sina Kaden Carter, Shotzi. But with for example, si Kaden Carter, as much as I love her, how she built herself from the Philippine Islands was kind of outdated, diba? Like, no one calls us the Philippine Islands anymore. And I wish that someone told Kaden that. I don't know, maybe wala nang nagsabi din sa kanya. But
okay, go ahead, sorry.
With Jintala, I think she's kind of aware of nuances like that because she did grow up in and around the Philippines. She was raised by her dad, who was a single dad kasi maaga namatay yung nanay niya. And you'll know this if you watch yung intro package ni Lila Rel sa LFG. So she was raised by her father, actually flew to and from the Philippines a bunch of times growing up, and she's very much aware of the culture as well.
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with her presentation. I have a slight nitpick sa this isn't a hill I'm gonna die on, but it's a thing that I've noticed the WWE doing, wherein when they name a new wrestler, they always go with the most stereotypical name possible. It happened with your Ludwig Kaisers of the world and your Carmelo Hayes. And now with Jintala. Booker T was Booker T long before Booker T. He was in
Gunther, I said Gunther.
Gunther, yeah, exactly. Diba? So parang, I guess, you want it to be relatable, but you also don't want it to be stereotypical. You don't want it to be, the thing that people associate it. But hey, man, it's still early. Bago pa lang yung pangalan niya, bago pa lang din yung character niya. So maybe the representation is still to come. Maybe there's better ways to incorporate her. It's just the thing that I've noticed them doing.
Yeah, I think I said in the past episode na for me, I get Batista vibes from her. I get.
Is that good or bad?
That's good. I mean, Batista's like a megastar, diba? And tama na yung sinabi mo, Stan. Like she represents the Philippines without like being over exaggerated with it. Yung ano lang, yung tamang timpla lang kumbaga. And I love the finisher as well. The name, like everything about it, it's just great. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of Jintala. She was on a backstage segment at NXT this past week, so might not far off to see her in an actual match.
She's
in NXT.
been appearing na rin naman even before LFG. Sino si Adonis was like flirting with her in one of those backstage segments.
Diba? So it might be soon that you can actually get to call a Jintala match.
I actually don't think na stereotypical yung Jintala. Like, if you read yung mga interviews ng mga wrestlers and yung process how they get their WWE approved ring names, medyo may collaboration na rin with the actual talent. So it wouldn't surprise me if Jintala herself actually came up with those names as opposed to parang, let's give you like a stereotypical Korean name because I don't think that. I just don't think that that's the case. The same way na I think, if I remember correctly, the name Gunther was in Gunther's family, like lolo niya ata or something, which is why he chose that name. So I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not in the room where it happens.
I mean, Emil would know the best out of all three of us, but you'd be the second most knowledgeable about it. It's the thing I noticed.
Yeah. So congrats to Jintala, successful in-ring debut on Evolve. Keep representing your Filipino and your Korean heritage and keep carrying that flag or those flags. We love it. Love to see it. All right, last bit here before we go to Worlds Collide predictions. See Valhalla or Sarah Logan was also informed that her contract will not be renewed, and then after she got the news, like post siya on social media saying that she is retiring from the industry altogether. I guess to focus na rin on being a mom, diba? If you don't know, she's married to Eric of the Viking Raiders, of the War Raiders, and they have a son together.
She's not just a mom, she's also a homesteader, which, if you know anything about that world, some of the hardest things you can do in life are to literally build a farm from the ground up. So it's a lifestyle that they've chosen. It's an alternative way of living. So it's understandable then that it takes time from being a wrestler, because when you're a wrestler, you're always on the road, diba? Lalo na with the WWE. So it's understandable na she's decided that this is where life is gonna take her and that she's gonna focus on doing this instead. It was also not very surprising to see that she was gonna be let go, considering, or not renewed, considering that we haven't seen her on TV in quite some time. In fact, when she was Valhalla, lumabas lang siya for a few months and then wala na din siya ulit after nun, diba? So it's really not surprising that this is how she is going out, I guess. But all the best to her and her, farm life.
Yeah, she was one of the names that they brought back when Triple H took over. And I will say she made the most of her second run as Valhalla. Mas tumatak sa akin yung Valhalla than her original Sarah Logan gimmick with the with Liv and yung grupo nila. So all the best wishes for Sarah Logan, and she's gonna kick ass at everything that she does, that she will do.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Worlds Collide, which is happening Sunday, 3 a.m. Philippine time. But first, let's hear from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network. All right, this Sunday, 3 a.m. Manila time, you've got WWE Worlds Collide. It's the first official show produced by WWE with AAA involved. So it's a AAA, NXT, and main roster supercard. And you've got 5 matches on the card right now, so let's get right to it. Sige. Before we talk about the matches, my expectations pa kayo with Worlds Collide and how this is AAA's official debut under the TKO umbrella?
You know what I want to see? The 6-sided ring ng AAA.
Yes.
I
want to see that as well.
If you're gonna make it like a collaboration with like AAA and NXT, at least bring some elements of a AAA show in the show. Because if the set would just look like your typical NXT setup, with the normal setup, parang it won't be as special siguro for me. So that's what I want to see. The 6-sided, especially a lot of the wrestlers who are gonna work this match are luchadors, so they're probably comfortable with the setup, and I kind of want to see the AAA integration into this event.
I wouldn't necessarily say that mawala yung flavor ng AAA just because they don't have the ring, but because they already have the luchadors there, and I think the luchadors are the most important aspect of this and not the ring. But at the same time, I can appreciate the uniqueness of a 6-sided ring. I know si Ro went on to say here na it sucks to bump in one of those 6-sided rings, pero it's also just the thing that makes AAA unique. So, and we haven't seen one in quite some time, unless you're a regular watcher of their product. I'm also expecting them to just go all out, just go crazy, really show the world what AAA is all about. Okay, for a lot of people watching this, might be their first time seeing a lot of these names from that side of the wrestling world.
Mm-hmm. All right. Should be a lot of fun. Again, this will be 3 a.m. Manila time, pero nasa YouTube naman siya, kind of like Saturday night's main event, which means you can actually watch this at your own pleasure, at your own leisure, anytime you want. Diba? Even after Money in the Bank, mapapanood nyo siya legally sa WWE YouTube channel in either English or Spanish. So, kami ni Carlo, we will not be calling this show. And as much as I was excited to be calling a AAA show or a AAA related event, I'm also kind of happy that I don't have to be up yelling loudly at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Tapos the back-to-back shows ka pa eh.
Oo nga eh. With the Money in the Bank.
Well, it did happen nung WrestleMania, diba? Nag-stand and deliver
Yeah,
kami,
fair.
and then we did WrestleMania Night 1. So I have experienced it. And, if it wasn't my job, it's not something that I would do willy-nilly. All right, let's get to the preview and start with the Fatal 4-Way match for the NXT North American Championship. Ethan Page defends against Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, and Rey Fenix.
I think Ethan retains. It will be a fun match, This will be for me, the most, yung pinaka-inaabangan kong match is this one.
I think it's okay, sorry. I thought you were
But I will predict a retention here for Ethan Page.
Bakit ito yung pinaka looking forward to match mo?
Because of the talent that is around in this match. Phoenix, Javon Evans, and Laredo Kid. I've seen a bit of Laredo Kid in AEW, and he's really good. Javon, we all know what he could bring. Phoenix, he's literally hugot siya sa main roster just for this event because of the AAA collaboration. So that's why I'm looking forward to this match, because I know that these four will deliver a banger.
I think it's a good way to take the title off of Ethan Page. So I'm gonna say Javon Evans. I think sooner or later din papunta tong rivalry na to eh. But Ethan is gonna drop to Javon because Javon is really he epitomizes the identity of the North American Championship, which is yung workhorse title nila.
Yes.
An up-and-comer that works hard, that's always on top of his game here. I don't know how likely that is, but I want to see it happen on this card with such high stakes.
All right. Next up, let's talk about the women who have a tag team match. It's Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice versus Chick Tormenta and Dalis. So, if you don't know who the AAA ladies are, they're actually vets, the two of them. See, Dalis is part of the legendary Casas family. She's the wife of Negro Casas. So, you have a bit of heritage here. And I'm just not exactly sure kung ano yung history ni Stephanie with the two of them. But I know that she's competed in AAA before.
I think AAA was her home Mexican promotion, if I'm not mistaken.
Di ba CMLL?
I think it's CMLL. Kasi
Is
she
it
competed
CMLL?
in Forbidden Door last year.
Okay, so nga pala. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going with the babyface as sila Stephanie and Lola. They're fan favorites. That's the reason I'm picking them. Yeah.
Tsaka you don't loan your top star only to eat a pin, diba? Or maybe that's why Lola Vice is there. I don't know, but again, she's so hot right now, on fire right now. So it'd be hard for me to believe na matatalo siya, even with the pedigree that these AAA women bring to the table.
And Stephanie pulling a double duty for Saturday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she is in this event and she's gonna compete in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Oh, medyo malayo yung drive niya after Worlds Collide. Mga 1.1 miles. Yeah, barring any catastrophic traffic, it's like a 10-minute drive.
Hey, with LA traffic, with LA traffic at that time, I mean, you never know.
That's why
I hope na hindi siya matraffic. I hope not.
I think this opens the show para makali siya agad, di ba?
Perhaps.
Siguro.
Alam ni Emil yan. Siya yung nandyan sa booking team.
Booker pala siya. O nga pala.
No.
Kaya alam ni Emil yan.
Pinausap ko si Shawn Michaels bago siya sa stream tonight.
Inayos sila yung travel plans ni Stephanie Vaquer. Pinirma ni Emil. Next up, let's talk about this six-man tag team match. You've got the Latino World Order represented by Dragon Lee and Cruz del Toro alongside Lince Dorado, who is now back with WWE, alongside the trio of Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. So a couple of things about this match. It was originally supposed to be Joaquin Wilde in Lince Dorado's place, but he got injured during the WWE speed taping right before Monday Night Raw. I actually saw the spot that got him injured against Lexis King. It was pretty gnarly yung landing ni Joaquin Wilde after a 450. So, best wishes, and my heart's just going out to Joaquin Wilde as he recovers here. So, Lince Dorado has been working with NXT as a coach. He's also wrestled in Evolve recently. He'll be stepping in to team with the LWO boys against Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. Aerostar, you may remember from Lucha Underground, diba? Siya yung parang rival ni Drago. The space theme with Aerostar. And then si Octagon Jr. is actually a longtime rival of Penta. Because if you know your Lucha Libre your Lucha Libre lore, yung Octagon character and Pentagon character, yun yung rivals eh.
Mas madaming sides yung Octagon character.
Akala ko protege ni Penta si Octagon.
No. Octagon Jr. is like the son or the protege of OG Octagon. And Penta is the son or parang protege of OG Pentagon. So sila yung parang arch rivals.
Ano sila? Parang part sila ng quadrilateral stable? Is that
No, think of it like kunwari, Superman and Lex Luthor. Parang ganon. So Superman Jr. and Lex Luthor Jr. are continuing the long-running feud of their predecessors.
I just love luchador names. Question. Is Octagon Jr. Kalisto? Because when I Google Octagon Jr., lumalabas si Kalisto.
And I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Kalisto is Samurai del Sol.
Yeah. Kalisto is Samurai del Sol, yeah.
But if you Google Octagon Jr., lumalabas si Kalisto.
No. Wikipedia says, and I don't know how reliable this is, that the current Octagon Jr. is a wrestler who also goes by Golden Magic.
Okay.
So Kalisto was the first wrestler to wrestle as Octagon Jr. Before he became Samurai del Sol.
So parang Tiger Mask. Okay.
Parang Tiger Mask. So yung Lucha Libre also kind of works in the same way.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. I mean, Tiger Mask is a lucha character. Anyway.
Si Uncle Al, who is our resident Reddit tambay, and who knows his wrestling history, tells us na Octagon Jr. the second is Flamita, who also wrestled as Nightclaw in Lucha Underground. And then yung Octagon Jr. ngayon is the guy who also wrestles as Golden Magic. So,
okay.
So I'm looking forward to Vic Joseph and I'm guessing Corey Graves explaining this lucha lore. Should be really fun. I do trust Vic Joseph to do his homework.
Sana balik nila si Sam Adonis one night lang just for this because I think he can contribute to this as well. But regardless,
sure, given the political climate in the US, the Sam Adonis character is not gonna fly well on a WWE program.
Well,
especially in LA.
Here's hoping. But I think if anybody was going to win this match, if AAA was going to stand a chance of winning any match in the card, I think this would be it. Yes. This is the one match I think they have the strongest chance of winning. So I'm going to go side with the AAA vets.
All right.
I agree. I feel the same. Ito yung most likely na mananalo yung AAA wrestlers. Because again, it's a six man, it's a three trios, and parang mas mas lucha style yung trios, especially with the way the pacing goes. So I think I think they will win here. Yung sila Octagon Jr.
All right. Next, another trios match, this time between Legado del Fantasma against the trio of El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown. So, if you watch Lucha Underground, itong si El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., anak siya ni Dr. Wagner Jr. who wrestled in Lucha Underground. So, this effectively makes him the grandson of original Dr. Wagner.
The third generation superstar.
Oh, kasi Hijo na siya ni Junior di ba?
El Hijo de, tapos di ba si Santos, di ba El Hijo din yung name niya?
El Hijo del Fantasma.
El Fantasma, yun.
Yes, because he's a son of El Fantasma.
El Fantasma.
Yes.
This is gonna be a dope match. With the caliber of talent that they have. I'm actually going to go with Legado here for the win.
I was gonna say AAA again. Because again, strength nila yung trios. So that's why I'm gonna say this. I will say that I am looking forward to this match the most because kilala ko si El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. and si Psycho Clown. Psycho Clown, I'm a new fan of, but I like his aesthetic and how crazy, like aka the name is. He is in the ring. Kasi ang baliw nilang tatlo eh. Even El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. and even Iguana Man. Yeah? So they're gonna go all out. They're gonna ball out.
Iguana man ang putats. Mr. Iguana, dude.
Iguana. Mr. Iguana. Mr. Iguana. Sorry. I knew that sounded wrong in my head. It's lucha names.
Yeah, I will agree with you. Sobrang haba din minsan naman pangalan eh.
What if si Afro Man was called Mr. Afro instead?
El Hijo de Afro. Afro Junior. Afro the Second.
Right. Let's get to what I'm assuming is the main event. It's the AAA Mega Championship. El Hijo del Vikingo will defend his newly won title against Chad Gable.
Ito. So this is what I'm gonna propose here. Sana approve ni Booker Emil to. But Gable loses and conversely El Grande Americano wins the briefcase. I know it's 2 separate days, pero there's a possibility down the road.
Separate days? It's on the same day.
No, sorry, separate shows pala. But mauuna yung diba? Worlds collide.
Yeah.
But there is such a huge possibility later down the road that Gable eats this loss, Grande Americano wins, and cashes in on Vikingo at some later point. Right? People will hate it, but it's such a possibility now. So wala namang rules to eh, diba? WWE bought AAA. So they must have a plan for this El Grande Americano character, right? Whoever he is. So that's my prediction for this one.
Tanong ni Bruce, ba't hindi si El Grande Americano yung number one contender? Because he's doing Money in the Bank, Bruce.
Kasi kailangan niya yung briefcase, Bruce.
Ito, I will say, di ba there have been plans of Chad Gable, parang yung excursion in Mexico. Let him win the title of a Vikingo. And let him go to Mexico, go to AAA, appear in a bunch of shows there and just be a mega heel.
Dude, having El Grande Americano appear in AAA will get him
Chad.
major heat. No, hear me out. The fact that this guy is built from the Gulf of America and yung theme song niya is the way that it is, diba? Doon pa lang magagalit yung mga tao sa kanya. I don't think you need Sam Adonis when you have El Grande freaking Americano.
And the fact that his name is such a farce of lucha libre, diba? El Grande Americano, diba? That's not even a lucha name. So the fact that he has all these things going against him are actually going for him. So, I think Gable, that person, is fine, but he shines better as El Grande Americano, if he is indeed El Grande
Yun
Americano.
Kaya when this match was announced, I was wondering why it's not El Grande Americano. Why is it Chad Gable? So, sayang, there's so much possibility if it was El Grande in this spot.
Tanong mo, Emil, tanong mo sa writer's room pag nandun ka.
But I will stand by having Chad Gable win the championship here and going to AAA.
All right. Shout out to Julian who says he's enjoying how natututo siya about Lucha Libre lore and its history here on the podcast. We appreciate that you are, that's one of the reasons why we do what we do here on this show. He also asks, di ba nasa Lucha Underground dati si Santos Escobar? Yes, he was King Cuerno. That was his Lucha Underground character.
Yung hunter gimmick, di ba? That was his gimmick.
The big game hunter.
Yeah, because Cuerno is hunter in Spanish.
That's right. All right, let's take one last break. When we come back, we'll do Money in the Bank predictions right after this. All right, boys, Money in the Bank is happening on Sunday, 7 a.m. Manila time. You can watch it on the WWE Network. That's how you can catch it legally sa bahay with Tagalog commentary live. And if you want to watch it at Skinny Mike's, go ahead and do so. May tickets pa rin, tinyurl.com/MITB2025. We have 4 announced matches, and since wala na rin mga impromptu surprise matches in the Triple H era, I think it's safe to assume na ito na yun. These are the 4 matches on Sunday morning for Money in the Bank. So let's start with the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. If Becky loses, she can never challenge Lyra for the title again.
Ay, yun alam na.
And diba may stipulation din na if Lyra wins, Becky has to raise her hand. Diba? Tama?
Yes. No. If Becky wins, Lyra has to raise her hand.
Okay.
I got Becky winning. Doon pa lang sa stipulation na yun eh. Parang, like it's probably a given. Plus, I think I said something when we were predicting Backlash that I know at some point Becky is gonna win the title over Lyra, but I want Lyra to gain a win over her first before she could win the title to legitimize Lyra as the IC champion. So, but now I think it's time. Becky's gonna win, and maybe they're gonna have another match down the line because their chemistry is just so good as opponents. So
Same.
I want to see this. I want to see this one more time, and for that to happen, I will say that Becky will win the IC title here.
Same, I agree. I think Becky wins this one. I think Lyra's been doing stellar work against Becky Lynch on the mic, in the ring. Ganda. You're getting more depth out of her, and I love that. But at the same time, with that stipulation in play, I don't think Becky Lynch is going to take an L here. I think it's the perfect opportunity for them to emphasize her heelness with a victory and a title win.
All right. Next up, we've got what I assume is going to be the main event, pero I want to save the last predictions for the Money in the Bank ladder matches. So let's talk about the big tag team match between Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso and the team of John Cena and Logan Paul.
Kakabalik lang ni Cody eh.
Oh.
So,
ano ngayon?
No, syempre, I think he has to win here. Cody and Jey Uso has to win. They have to win here. Kasi, first of all, yung tag team match is kind of a setup for Cena to take an L here and for them to set up a title match at SummerSlam. So I'm gonna go with the baby faces here, Cody and Jey. Although, may naisip ako kung anong pwede mangyari sa match na to. If this is gonna be the main event, I think the winner of the Money in the Bank will cash in post-match.
On who?
I think it's Jey Uso.
Interesting. Well, I think the faces win here. Cody needs to get steam back after of not seeing him on TV for a month, diba? Over a month. So, parang nawalan siya ng steam doon. People were asking where Cody was. And bumalik siya ng Saturday night's main event. So, the fact that he's back now needs to develop momentum against John Cena, who is his big boss now. So, yung major threat now sa kanyang championship goal. So, I think with this win, he gets right back on track. So, Cody and Jey pick up the dub.
Having Logan Paul here, ito na ba? Is this the way that John Cena actually gets booed? kasi kasama niya si Logan Paul. Kasi diba, nung simula, ano pa eh, like people were still cheering John Cena. Like when he beat Cody Rhodes, people were like, yay, John Cena's the record-breaking 17-time champion.
I mean, he's much better than having Travis Scott in there. So,
plus may natural heat kasi si Logan Paul and si Travis Scott. People really don't like Logan Paul. So the fact that they're putting him and Cena together, hopefully, ang magandang mangyari dyan, yes, John Cena gets booed, but what if Logan Paul gets cheered just because of John Cena? That could also happen. Cena is also still pretty over. So
really though, Chino, really,
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't think Logan Paul's getting cheered.
I mean,
because of John Cena of all reasons.
May natin, the weirdest thing, sabi nga ni Booker noon, anything can happen in wrestling. So it's a thing that I'm willing to consider.
I guess. All right. Okay, next. Who's gonna be Miss Money in the Bank 2025? Is it Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Naomi, Julia, or Stephanie Vaquer?
This is more wide open than the men's. Like, I could see a couple of people like having like legit cases to win. But you know what? I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Roxanne. I'm picking Roxanne here.
I have a winner pick and a very stupid reason as to why this person, she will win the Money in the Bank. And my pick goes out to Rhea Ripley. Bakit? Dahil nung nag-promo siya for Money in the Bank, she came up with the catchphrase, Mommy in the Bank. And it's a stupid reason, guys, but marketing is everything in the WWE, right? So the fact that she came up with such a catchy catchphrase for her title win, even more purple briefcase or black briefcase, whatever her palette is now, this is she's Mommy in the Bank. It's a thing that's happened before with past Money in the Bank winners, right? So
Damian Priest.
Exactly. So it's a very likely scenario here. So that's why I'm picking, for no other reason than that, Rhea Ripley.
All right. Interesting. And do you think that they're gonna cash in some Money in the Bank event? Because there was a run where almost every year Miss Money in the Bank would successfully cash in at the Money in the Bank PLE.
Well, there's no women's title match. Women's world title matches on the show. So, like,
parang medyo paano yung gagawin mo?
Bakit? Di porket walang match, di na-appear yung champion?
Pwede. I mean, they only have 4 matches, so they could have a segment where they could do that. But I don't think if there's a cash in, it'll be this.
Masyadong magiging halata na siya if there's like a segment, and especially specifically either one of the world champions appear. So like magiging obvious, okay, they're setting up a cash in here. So I don't think they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that on this event. Kasi yung iniisip ko was like it's the men's who's gonna have an actual cash in on the show.
All right, cool. So for Emil, it's Roxanne Perez. For Chino, it is Rhea Ripley. People in the comments, let us know who you think it's going to be as we get to Mr. Money in the Bank 2025. Is it LA Knight, Penta, Solo Sikoa, Andrade, Seth freaking Rollins, or El Grande Americano?
Seth. Like, sinabi nga natin dito sa podcast, this is for Seth to win. He's the hottest heel in wrestling right now, and I feel like running it back with him as Mr. Money in the Bank would be like the icing on the cake.
Ito, alternative winner pick. Madaya to because I have 2 picks technically, but I mean the first pick is such a long shot. So I'm going with Seth freaking Rollins here, but I don't think he's cashing in here. I think he's cashing in on the Raw after this because remember, Jey Uso still has to face Gunther for the title. Diba? So it makes a lot of sense sa Raw na yun. Pag inupakan, mananalo man si Jey Uso kay Gunther, upakan pa din siya. Diba? It's still going to be Gunther. right? So what a perfect opportunity for Mr. Money in the Bank to just strip the bones here and claim the title again. So
Pick the
kung
bones, yeah.
pick the bones here, yeah, and claim the title again. So if that's going to happen, I think Seth Rollins is the perfect guy to do it.
All right. So there you have it. Those are our predictions for Money in the Bank. Let us know what you think. Let us know if meron kayo ibang picks from the ones that Emil and Chino picked. We will see you this Sunday at the watch party sa Skinny Mike's BGC. In the meantime, Emil, let the people know what's going on in your neck of the woods kung meron kayo pa-promote.
Wala naman. Just I hope you guys go sa Skinny Max on Sunday. Yung Pinoy Wrestling Night is also gonna be this weekend for Puso. So go check out local wrestling. It's always great.
Tama
Yeah,
yan.
a lot of wrestling happening this weekend.
Yeah.
So sana supportan niyo lahat. I'm just jumping in here. I will be at the Brickwall BGC next week and this Saturday. Actually, the next 3 Saturdays, I will be at Brickwall BGC performing stand-up comedy. Tickets are available at comedymanila.ph/shows. Also, the Class Clown podcast still going strong. Kahit ayoko na. It's still there, still putting up episodes. Check out my latest episode with Mr. Mark Colanta. You may know him as Harry Roque on TikTok. So he's one of our comics, and I talked to him about that and about so much more on the podcast. Also, I'm into D&D now. If you guys are running a game, sama niyo naman ako. But for everything else that I do, it's linktr.ee/Chino Supersized.
Yeah, I'm just surprised na ayaw mo na pala mag-class clown. Ba't mo pa tinutuloy? What the hell?
I don't know, revenue.
Revenue?
Kids time. I don't know. It's just a thing. It's not on the top of my priorities, but it's a thing.
All right. For me, I'm just gonna be plugging the PBA. So if you're at the game venues, I'm doing the Wednesday games so far as we get to the end of the eliminations ng Philippine Cup. So next Wednesday, nasa Ninoy Aquino Stadium yung PBA games. So if you're in the area and you want to say hi, then come on over and watch the games. All right, make sure to follow the show at Wrestling2X Pod on TikTok, Twitter, and Blue Sky. It's at Wrestling Podcast everywhere else. Please, if you're connected to whatever brands have money and can advertise, please consider putting your commercials on the Wrestling Podcast.
Yes.
Para naman ma-promote namin yung brand ninyo. We would love to shill your brand so that, yung mga nambubulabog mid-episode are brands that you actually like. So help us get in touch with these brands and help us promote your products as well here on the Wrestling Podcast. Thank you very much to babyface producer Jasper and everyone behind the scenes for always putting us over and making us sound good. And make sure to follow us at Chino Supersize, at EML_Meister, at Rowiswar, and at _Stan C. For event producer Rowan, it is at Monday Night Rowan. We'll catch you next week for another fresh set of episodes from the longest-running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. In the meantime, for Chino Liao and Emil Nate, I'm Stan C, reminding everyone to stay safe, stay dry, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast. Out. Later, Outcasts.
Peace.